I hope everybody can see the presentation. That's okay. Okay, good. So this presentation is a part of the TASTE program for the Global Faculty Development program of the UTokyo. And I thanks a lot one more time this year the committee who allowed me to have a little budget to buy some new games and to try them in the class to know what could happen with them. So thank you again to the GFD committee. So at first, I'm gonna be maybe brief with an amuse bouche about my reflection about using board games and card games. To make it really brief, I'm making research about language acquisition by the using of board game and card games since maybe 12 years now, and since 5 years, I'm particularly focused on which emotion can occur in the classroom when using board game and card games, and how it can help or the opposite block some students in their learning acquisition and the development of their abilities in foreign languages. Which games? That's also another question, because there is plenty of games since 2000. Board game, card games, and especially since the coronavirus period, lots of new games are published every year. So we got a lot of essay to do, to look, to try the game before to reflect about how they can be used, if they can be used or not in the classroom, and with the objective to help students to take more risks in the use of foreign language. I will better use additional language, but I will explain this maybe a bit later if I got time. So I won't use the foreign language expression, but additional languages. And to help them to take more risks, to have more confidence in their skills and in what they can do, and also to have some fun, to practice French, to improve their level, and to interact with their comrades also. So the problem was at first what type of game to adopt in foreign French additional language classrooms, and for what results. And we decided to propose to students during this 4 or 5 sessions different type of games. And we focused this research on the basic affective systems developed by the neurobiologist Panksepp and the psychologist Baiven, who developed, who showed that there was 7 systems in our brain who make us have some different behavior. And for example, our brain will produce some dopamine, who will help us to have more fun about different situations. And they find with observation on rats at first that this different system will act on our behavior and will push us to have some different behavior. That's a lot of behavior work, but so you got 7 systems at all, and we focus especially on 3 systems. The 3 systems related to the gaming environment. First one is a care system, which is something unconscious. You can help by your behavior others to feel confident. The seeking system, which is the discovery and assessment of the environment, with the system also with the affordance and risk-taking also. And the play system, which is to have fun in interaction with other people and forgetting profitability of your actions. So to us, that was really important to try to understand how their risk-taking is evolution during several sequences with the students, and if they gain more confidence in what they were doing, and the amount of fun they could have or not. So to us, play and game, because play and game are 2 different words in English, and ever in France we got only 1 word. Play is that game is more like play with rules, and play is like the free play, more considered like the free play. So give a lot about from a lot of different research. different researchers shown that it helped to disconnect from reality, to develop also self-confidence and overcoming barriers. To sometimes you're afraid to talk, or you're not sure about your abilities, so you don't want to try, to taking risk and the right to make some mistakes, and because it's a part of the development of your abilities process, and to favoring also interaction and pleasure. And I will discuss a little bit about these elements a bit later. The gaming market is also in really strong right now, with lots of different releases. For example, like I put you some image of the French online website to buy games like Philibert, or specialized website also like Philibert or Board Game Arena, which is available in different languages. And since the coronavirus, you can find for free, or you can pay also, but that's not an obligation, a lot of really famous board games to play by yourself or with other people online. And also the Steam platform, a platform we used during several years. And also since the coronavirus, you can find not only video games, because Steam is really known for video games, but also for board games in digital version. So context of this semester was with the class of the trilingual program, which is a program in which students who had the best scores in the English examination and TOEIC entrance examination, they can choose second language and study it in an intensive way. And that was the third semester, so all the students were in second year and had in the French level, B1, B2 level of the DELF. And the faults of French additional language, just a little explanation here. I based my research about the Douglas Fear group and also NARCICOM and NARCICOM researchers who prefer to use this the additional language expression, because if you say foreign language, that's a bit strange. For example, in some Africa countries, or also in Canada, or in Switzerland, in Belgium, to say that, for example, French, or for example, in Belgium, to say that German, French, or Flamand will be foreign language, which is the same country. So that's a little strange. So that's based on the Douglas Fear Group research. We prefer to use additional language. So you add new language you already speak or you're already studying. Board and card games also, and it was during the 2023 spring, as I told you before. The game selection, it was really hard to make a selection because we have plenty of choice, but we also wanted to discover new games, because we already use board games and card games with students in our classes, but we wanted to have familiar and new game also. So that was important. Make a pre-pedagogical reflection about their use, and to have games which promote interaction, and propose pragmatic, linguistic, communicative, and sociocultural objectives. For example, for the organization we decided to use, we based our experimentation on 4 sessions with flip learning process. That means that you learn the rule before to come in the class with a video, and also a Google form with some questions to help students to better understand the rules and to guide them to better understand the process. And different feedbacks. The first feedback was at the beginning of the class to be sure that students understood what the game was, what they had to do to win, if they will cooperate or not. And some feedbacks at the end of the session, because we don't interfere, we just help the student during the game about the rules and what they should do in the game. But we don't say anything about their French mistakes, and we prefer to do a feedback at the end of the session to not disturb them and to let them really focus and enter in the game. The feedback categories, so to be mindless and find your place in the group. So that's a different question I ask them, notably with portfolio one, to ask them question about their behavior, their emotions, if they help their comrades, if they try to interact more, to take some risk, to also which amount of confidence they get at the beginning, at the end of the session, etc., etc., and to reflect also on their French and to try to understand where they were not using correctly some things, some sentences or some words in French, and what they learn or practice with the game, and what they think about their French abilities also. Oh, so the feedback categories, okay, and then we made some with the portfolio we sent to the students and some surveys. We analyzed their feedback because it was really important to us as a researcher to make a confrontation, a comparison between what we observe and the analysis of our observations, but also to compare them to what the students have to say and to make a better analysis about everything. So I won't read everything because it will take too much time, but there is a lot of different stuff about psychological impacts, about what I feel I can do, the frustration I can feel, the moment I can feel more relaxed. So we got sometimes an evolution in the students' answers. About improving learning also, sometimes at the beginning that was difficult to use new logical connectors or new expressions, but then little by little, it was more efficient for them, and they were more it was more easy to them to use them sometimes, and they feel they were improving their level of French also, and they were aware also of difficulties, and sometimes they realized they didn't use too much gesture or the opposite, or sometimes they thought they were too much thinking about what they have to say, whereas they should have maybe to spontaneously try to speak and to say what they wanted to say. And also about the awareness of difficulties, as I told you, the collaboration also, not only collaboration or cooperation in games, but also to help each other to, for example, when I was wrong in French, my comrade will help me to understand my mistakes and to help me to progress also. And the enjoyment also, because the term of fun and amusing were used a lot, even if sometimes it was difficult at first to enter in the game, because that's not an evidence to enter when you at first, maybe like everyone, when we start a game for the first time, it's not really easy, but the second time, the third time, we can really better understand the rules and what we have to do, so we can more enjoy it, and we can more focus on what we have to do than on the rules of these games. And the risk-taking also, I try to use, for example, the French subjunctive. I explain how I feel, which is not really often easy for people to share their emotion, and to try to react to the other stories in storytelling games, or to have real conversation, etc., etc. About basic affective system and learning, about the seeking system, a lot of students talk about game theme encouraging risk-taking, and about the immersing gameplay and language skills. Some games help the student to enter because of their universe, with the universe they propose. I will show you different games at the end of this presentation, which I used to make it discover what could have helped the student to take more risk. The care system also, the fact, as we see with the collaboration, to help people to progress in French, to, oh, you make a mistake here, so pay attention, oh, your pronunciation, to give some different advice, and sometimes also by their behavior. Some students tell that the other student behavior was having fun, helps them also to be more confident, to have more confidence, and to try more. So care system, seeking system, and also play system are connected, because if you got more confidence in your abilities and in yourself, you will try more, some new stuff, or to even if you make mistakes, you will make more, you will try to talk more. And then if you forget this apprehension to make mistakes, you can have more fun and you will interact more with people, with others. And the fact to use different games and not only one type of game is also important, because to us, especially by the fact, as I told you, I make no linguistic correction during playtime, but it helps the student to have a greater investment and progress, because if you do always the same type of activities, not only games, but for example, if in a class you always do for listening, you always use some textbook built audio file, which are now authentic, or sometimes you just make movies, extracts, etc. If you do only one thing, little by little, students get bored, maybe. So it's even I don't use only games. I try to use different type of activities, but even if I'm using game, I try to propose different type of flip learning. Also, it's really a better preparation, and it's really easier for them to enter in the game. So to me, that's really something I want to continue, because it helps them. And mostly I send them the video and the Google form with a question, something like 2 weeks before, so they got time. And not this semester, but the 2 previous semesters, they had the possibility to access to the Steam platform. So some of them try to play the digital games versions. Students take also a reflective look at their learning, because with the portfolio, they were asked to compare their answer, because we got, as I told you, 4 sessions. At the end of each session, they had a survey and a portfolio to answer, and they received the copy of their answers also, so they can compare and they can have they can make a step back and look about their evolution and how they can develop, and how the behavior was at the first session, at the 4th session. That's important for them to be aware of this and to take it in consideration. And the most, to me, the most funny thing was that they forget time. For example, in this class, at the end of the class, a lot of students are already in a hurry. They wanted to go to the next class, or they wanted to go to the Seikyo to buy their food for the lunch. But this time, each time we made some games, I didn't say anything. The class was over at 10 a.m. And then after 15 minutes, I told them, class is done, everybody, but you're always here. And mostly they, oh yeah, that's over, but, and they were totally so in the game that they're forgetting everything else. They're really focused in it and having fun, trying, and to collaborate, even if it's not collaborative or cooperative game. They were together in their mood, in their environment, their own context. They build something really interesting. And to me, I really enjoy when the students are so focused on something and they forget everything else. That's really a good thing. And the impact on class life also, and other activities, because for example, the last class of the semester, we had a conversation examination, and they had time after the written examination, and they had time if they wanted to practice or to go. They were free to, and they decided to stay. And one more time, it was not a game, but one more time, they completely forgetting time, and they stay something like 15 or 20 minutes more than the normal schedule of the classes. So to me, that was really, really interesting. Finally, about conclusion and prospect, to me, that the fact that they thought about time and committing to activities was really something incredible, because I knew already that you can really focus in game and forget what is around you, but that there is that much forget time and that much invest in the activity was really a surprise to me. And the play and game and the evaluation compatibility, because with the portfolio, that's not really easy to make an assessment during the game. So you have to maybe take some notes as a teacher and maybe to develop some self-assessments and co-assessments process. And that's why I really want to continue my research about these self and co-assessment tools in order to have maybe a more individual approach also to learner progress, because they don't learn at the same speed, even if they got the same teachers, the same amount of hours of French studying, but they got also their individuality. And I think we, as a teacher, I should more take into account this fact. So I'm gonna finish with some references here, and thanks a lot for attending to my. See, that's a flexible one. That's pretty convenient. So I'm gonna try to make some space here. So one of the first game I used, sorry, the name will be maybe in French. That's a marvelous. Oh, I got the name in English. Monogatari Fairy Tales. As a marvelous fairy tale. That's a board game in which you got different components, and the board is like a puzzle one, and you have to create a story, and you're gonna place some different elements on the board, like some different characters, elements, places, and you have to then make a characteristic on them, so you can put some different stuff like some swords, some coins, some fire, a birthday cake. So that's a lot of things. And the first part is everybody will have to put something like 20 cards, and which each card a coin. And then the second part, that they will see the characters on the board, but they won't see the elements they put. So they have to create a story, a full story, and that's a cooperative game. So they have to do it together. So that's a really nice one to use, for example, the narrative expressions, the narrative grammar, to organize your story, to make in a collaborative way. So you have to talk with different people. So that's a fact. Then you got Similo. Similo is card games. You got a lot of different versions. You got the monster one, you got the myth one, you got the fairy tales one, story, animals, savage animals, and you choose one card. You choose one card, and on each card you got the name. If it's the character, the name of the character. Maybe I will take someone more like let's take Athena. That's more understandable. And then you got some information at the bottom of the card about who she is, from which country, which culture, which legend, etc. And then this card, I take it in secret. I add 11 other cards. That's a cooperative game also, but I will have to put the cards this way. I just gonna put not the 12 cards, but some of them. Oh, okay. And then I will have 5 cards in my hands to help my comrades to find which card is mine. And little by little, we're gonna eliminate the wrong characters. If you eliminate the good one, it's over. So you have to communicate. You can discover mythology, history, several thematics. So that's really a little one, a good card game. What can I present to you also? This one is really nice. Just one second. Plenty of bucks. So Farben is a nice one. You have to associate colors to your own story or your own memories. So you got some different cards with colors, and the student will have to put a colors. We're gonna take a word. For example, it's a rêve, which means dream, and each student who are playing together will associate a color to the dream. They will explain why they are using this color with this dream, with this word. And then when everybody is done, when you got something like 5 or 6 words, if I'm not wrong, if I well remember, you will have to remember what your comrades chose and to explain. So that's a work about a little imagination, emotions,